You are rude,
guys,
you are a bully,
Rabbi
you just
Shmuley,
are trying to interrupt me.
He's going to ask you a question.
30 seconds, I'll come to you.
He's going to come to you
Let
afterwards.
me finish, please.
Excuse me, no, you will not interrupt me. If Israel, you will not interrupt me.
man,
You
you're a
will
person.
not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me.
They're just screaming at each other and playing games.
And you need to control your guests with all due respect.
Literally
Okay, he said
control both
he
guests.
said
This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You know, you seem obsessed with Jewish sex.
Hijab is a Muslim philosopher, scholar, and YouTuber whose first appearance on the show was viewed by more than 8 million people. Rabbi Shmuley Boteach has been called the most famous rabbi in America. He is the international best-selling author of Kosher Hate and The Israel Warrior. Both men are passionate, both men are influential, and they both have vehemently opposing views. Tonight, they go uncensored and head-to-head. We're bringing together two very opinionated, passionate, influential people, very opposing views, and we're going to have a proper debate, and we're going to see if somewhere there is perhaps more that we can agree on than we first imagined. So thank you for joining me, gentlemen. We tossed a coin before we came on air tonight, and actually you won the toss, and you said you want to go second.
I defer to my brother.
And the way this will work, Mohammed, we have 4 sections of this debate, and at the start of each one, you'll both get 1 minute uninterrupted to say what you want to say about each of the themed titles of each block. So you go first, and at the end of your minute, you'll hear a sound, and when you hear that, you end, and then Rabbi Shmuley gets his chance.
He's got like this look on him, the Mohammed Hijab, just kind of. I don't know if that's just like his normal look or how he looks, but he kind of looks like it's kind of like, I don't know, like almost like an intellectual hardman look. I'm ready. Let's debate.
To speak. So the first theme is a simple one. Are Hamas to blame? You have a minute, Mohammed, from now.
From one perspective, Hamas started the battle because obviously from October 7th, even they themselves title it Tufan al-Aqsa or the flooding of al-Aqsa. But from another perspective, if you really look at it from an international law perspective, we're talking about 1967, we're talking about Security Resolution 242, in which it is actually stated that Israel is in a belligerent state because they're occupying the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. And they have been, so therefore the war has been continual for a very long time according to international law. But let's remove Hamas from the situation altogether. Let's remove them. What do you have? You have the West Bank. And what do you have in the West Bank? You have 187 children who have been put in prisons. They have been put in prisons, according to Bet Salem, without charge. You have 44 children before October the 7th that have been killed before October the 7th in just 2023 alone. So if you remove Hamas from the equation, what you have the West Bank. You remove dominance from the equation, you have the West Bank, and what you have occupation, you have settlement, which you condemned, rightfully so. You condemned that on your show. The settlement's there.
Okay, Rabbi Shmuley, 1 minute to respond.
Resolution 242 in the UN
was loud.
Single thing about aggression.
I don't know if that comes out loud on the stream. It's fucking deafened me. Beep. Fuck me.
Or aggressor, that is a total fabrication, and it speaks about disputed territories. But let's be clear. The occupier of Gaza is Hamas. They won an election in 2000.
Why do Israelis and by extension pro-Israeli people say Hamas? Because like in Arabic it's just Hamas. So it's not like they don't have a h sound in Hebrew. So why do they say Hamas? Is it like I genuinely don't know, but they all do. I've never fully understood it.
6 had a civil war with Mahmoud Abbas, took the Palestinian Authority officials, threw them off buildings.
Is it like mockery? Do they not like it? Or maybe that's it. Who knows?
Killed Muslims, killed Arabs. Mahmoud Abbas is afraid to go to Gaza. He's terrified of Hamas. He hasn't been there since 2007. And let's be clear, Hamas is an abomination to Islam. Sultan Salah al-Din, the greatest Muslim conqueror of all time, after whom the main artery in Gaza is named, he said that you have to allow all prisoners to be redeemed. He would never hold hostages. And remember, Islam is about fair...
Both of them are like furious. Like, but I don't know, it's like within about 2 seconds of speaking, both of them have gotten furious. Already shouting. Like Mohammed Hijab, like starting off kind of reason, but at the end, he's shouting about, and now Rabbi Shmuley's shouting, and he's telling you about. Like. If I was Piers Morgan, I find it very just whoa. Whoa. Calm down, guys. Just say what you've got to say. Like, it's not. They're not even a back and forth. They're just immediately shouting. You can tell. You can always tell someone's position is too extreme when the second they try to explain it to you, they just start shouting. And they can't even say it without shouting.
Treatment of prisoners of war. Hamas beheaded Thai non-Jewish workers. You asked in your last appearance here for real first-hand sources. I'm the first-hand source. I saw it in Kibbutz Alumim. They raped women. They had sex with dead women's bodies. They are evil, and do the right thing and call them evil.
All right, we've had a minute each. Okay, we've got a passionate start. Mohammed, let me ask you about Hamas.
I want to first, before you do that, I want to commend you, Piers, honestly, because bringing me on for the second time, I have to commend you. And the fact that you actually condemned the settlements is very good. But people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist organization? Okay, well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political
gain. So you're asking my opinion?
No, but if the UN definition, according to the UN definition, it's killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight...
I think it's usually non-state actors, though. Like, I think even if states engage in terror bombing, even when, like, we generally don't call it terrorism. Like, we don't call what Russia's, like, obliteration of Ukraine, even though it's absolutely condemned Russia's under sanctions, we don't call it Russia terrorist, right? It just seems like, to me, terrorist is by definition a non-state actor.
Question. I don't think they are terror organizations.
So when you see babies like this, the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. We'll both,
it's not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I thought carefully about this. I've been very honest about my own feelings. I have a real moral quandary about this because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific.
But are they a terrorist organisation, though?
I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a debate. This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we were being interviewed. Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. It will not... I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi, let me ask you...
Please have respect for the...
No. Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful and...
Rabbi Shmuley's already going berserk with him. And there's look at the picture, pay respect to the picture, pay respect to the picture. Look at him, I'm waving in his face.
Mohammed, you and I are being here.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a debate. This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we were being interviewed. Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. It will not... I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi, let me ask you...
Please have respect for the...
Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful and be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, sorry, is it a terrorist organisation or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political objectives.
You have to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that. When Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying the West Bank is West Hamas.
I know.
West Hamas.
You have to let me answer.
You've got 44 children killed like this in the West Bank.
This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Rabbi Shmuley. Let me just answer you quickly.
Go ahead.
I believe Israel has a right to defend itself from after that terror attack.
But can they kill children?
Wait a minute.
Can they?
Wait a minute. Particularly after the Hamas spokesman only last week said that they want to do this again and again and again. That's an existential threat to Israel.
Why don't they fight them man to man? Man to man. Fight them man to man. Why do you have to kill children?
Wait a minute. Why do you have to kill children? Let me answer you, Mohammed.
Why?
Let me answer you.
Of a ratio of 100 to 1, by the way.
Let me answer you.
100 to 1 ratio.
Let me answer you.
Go ahead.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Go ahead.
So, I agree that Israel must defend itself. I agree they have to get rid of Hamas because Hamas is wedded to an ideology of existentially removing Israel.
Is this acceptable?
Wait a minute. I'm coming to your answer.
Is this acceptable?
I'm coming to your answer.
This is not
This is not even a conversation.
Wait a minute.
Listen, I came all the way from the United States for this debate.
Let me finish.
And he will not let anyone else speak. And if that's how these shows work, no. You are rude, you are a bully, you just are trying to interrupt people. I'm going to have a chance to speak, or there's no point in doing this show. He did this last time and you allowed him to, but I won't allow him to, because I will never be bullied by a bully.
At the moment,
let me be clear.
Wait a minute. No one's allowing me to answer your question.
Go ahead, sir.
And it's this. I believe Israel has a right to defend itself.
Okay.
Piers can't get a word in. Piers can't get a word in. Oh, I kind of thought they'd just be saying crazy stuff, but they haven't even got to any points yet.
I agree that they need to get rid of Hamas. Who are terrible. Here's the quandary for me morally, right?
Why is it a quandary, though?
I'll tell you why.
With Hamas, it's not a quandary.
I'll tell you why.
Quandary.
Because in war, when you declare war, as Britain did with the Nazis...
100-to-1 ratio.
No,
100
of course,
to 1.
there are
Combatant to non-combatant ratio.
a far higher number of children in Gaza, proportionate to population, than almost anywhere in the world.
Piers,
so when they go after Hamas...
Give me a chance.
Very sadly...
Mohammed,
let me finish.
This is becoming...
No.
Very sadly...
You are the one who insisted
Rabbi
on
Shmuley,
equal time. I never did,
Rabbi
but you will
Shmuley,
not respect equal time.
I will come to you literally in 30 seconds.
He's going to ask you a question.
In 30 seconds, I'll come to you.
He's going to come to you afterwards.
Let me finish, please.
I'm not talking to him.
So my final point on this is, unfortunately...
He's down to me, so it's going to come to you. It'll come to you. Please, between me and Piers, come on.
In war, civilians
100 to 1 ratio. 100 to 1 ratio.
Yes.
100 to 1 ratio.
Yes, they get killed.
No, not 100 to 1 ratio. It's an unacceptable ratio.
Get killed.
Piers,
Rabbi
listen.
Shmuley, in you come.
You know, Piers, can I say respectfully, and I mean this as no insult, I'm amazed that you're intimidated by this man. I feel, well, with all due respect,
If I can speak, I wouldn't bring him back if I was intimidated.
If I can speak.
And he raises a very valid question, by the way.
No, he does not, because I have. Before he did this debate, he went on X on Twitter and said, I'm only doing it if there's equal time. And then he is violating that. I never asked for equal time. I just want to be heard. But he won't even let me be heard. Let me explain something to you. You said in a video the other day, and you can look me in the eye, you said that Jews are now trembling. Mohammed, I am not. No, don't interrupt me. I am not trembling. It's all on my Instagram page. Now, you see this yarmulke? It means that I represent something. I'm an ambassador. You're an ambassador of Islam. You are talking about a religion that started the world's first universities.
Did you say he's lying?
That's all my Instagram page. Now, you see this yarmulke? It means that I represent something. I'm an ambassador. You're an ambassador of Islam. You are talking about a religion that started the world's first universities, educated women. Fatima started the first university in the 9th century in Fez, Morocco.
Irrelevant.
Now we have a man who says that he's a representative of Islam.
He's meant to be speaking to you.
He goes to Speaker's Club.
He's trying to run the show. I've got to say, this I don't agree with him, but this Mohammed Hijab guy's jokes. It's ridiculous. I want to be able to clear that he's derailing the show, right? He's trying to take over, and he's trying to make everyone else look stupid. But this is great content. This is fantastic.
He speaks about whether 5-year-old girls are old enough for sex. He says that gay men are dying of AIDS as a punishment from God. And I'm sorry to have to say this to the listeners, that blood is gushing from their backsides. They're better off. You know what it is? Because you are desecrating a great religion. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's here. Because he will
bring
defend
it back to the debate.
I will.
Bring it back to the topic.
He will defend
Hamas's
butchery, savagery. He doesn't care that Hamas is an abomination to Islam because Islam,
but he hasn't done
the
that.
Children in Gaza are dying because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests. The United States and France and England said yesterday that the Al-Shifa hospital is a military base. It has a tiny veneer.
Let him have his minute.
It has a tiny veneer of emergency rooms.
Hold on a minute.
But
no, let him have his minute. Now, after all the shouting and the interrupting.
Underneath all of it is a military
base.
I'm
can't
going
even
to
ask
tell you
a
something.
question.
If it's true that any of these countries care about the Muslims in Gaza because they believe what he's saying, that Israel's killing them, this is a map of all the countries that took place last week in Riyadh to save the Palestinians of Gaza from Israel. Do you know how many? That's Israel, a tiny thing. You know how many of them took in even one Palestinian from Gaza? Zero, nothing.
All right.
Look at that map.
let me-
because they
Stop
want
pointing,
to.
stop
The
pointing.
Arabs
Let me-
want to see.
all right,
No, I'm
Rabbi
pointing.
Shmuley.
The
Rabbi
Arabs want to
Shmuley.
see
Rabbi
Hamas.
Shmuley.
Stop pointing. Stop
Don't
pointing.
intimidate me. Don't bully
Okay,
me.
okay,
Thank you.
let me ask you-
Don't intimidate me.
Stop pointing.
I'm not
Guys,
afraid of
I've
you.
got to be able to ask questions.
No,
It's a debate.
Let's
come
back.
let me ask you
Listen.
one specific question which he raised, which I don't think actually is your belief. I don't think you have defended what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Yeah, I haven't.
I think you share our
Are they
view.
evil? Are they
Unless
evil?
I'm wrong.
Are they
spoken
evil?
about this
Are they
before.
evil?
Stop
Are
speaking.
they
Is it me
evil?
or him I'm
Are
speaking
they
to?
evil?
Stop
Rabbi
speaking to
Shmuley,
this. Stop
Hamas
speaking.
you're now
evil.
doing
Stop
what you
speaking.
accused him of doing.
Stop
So
speaking.
let me
They're
ask
both doing
you,
it.
what is your view of Hamas post-October 7th?
They're both trying to talk over each other and show each other down, but Mohammed Hijab is a bit better at it.
Stop
So
speaking.
let me ask you, what is your view of Hamas post-October 7th?
I think that they, just like anybody else, have to be examined. Have to look at all.
What's your
And
opinion
he
about it?
100%. I was right at the beginning. He's trying to do the intellectual hard man thing.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, that's
Look,
fantastic.
here's my opinion. Let me be straightforward about this, right? Any
I was thinking, can I even be asked to stream tonight? I went out, had a couple of drinks. I was like, I was kind of bored. I was like, shall I stream? And this is brilliant. This is actually great.
Anybody who kills civilians, anybody, whether it's the IDF, I'm consistent in this manner. If it's proven beyond reasonable doubt that these people have killed civilians in both of our faith traditions, in Islam and Judaism, in the Quran is mentioned, in the Prophet, he said it himself, you cannot kill a woman, you cannot kill a child. I condemn them. I condemn them. That's what I do. Straight away, whether he's Muslim, whether he's non-Muslim, whether he's Christian or anybody else. I've already said that. So I'm not being inconsistent here. My question is, if that is exactly the barometer that we're using, if that's the moral reasoning that we're using, then we have to say, look, if you have a 100-to-1 ratio, and that's what it is, a 100-to-1 ratio. And you know how I got this figure? I got this figure from the IDF themselves because they have reported
Okay,
to
but
the...
let me ask you this.
I think that was, I need to double check this, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was like, they said they'd taken out 50 Hamas commanders, and people took that to mean they'd taken out 50 just Hamas people generally, which I don't think was what they meant. But to be honest, I don't think we have accurate figures on that at all. At this stage anyway. I think we'd have to wait until afterwards. We don't know the distribution. Anyway, let's crack on.
Let me ask you this. Does Hamas deserve to stay in power after what they did?
I don't think we should have Hamas in power. What I think we should...
Okay.
No, let me tell you...
So how
we
do you
should have...
How do you get rid of them?
We should have a Palestinian Authority with bigger armies and airports, with proper tanks and with airplanes like every country in the world.
You know what? You might be right. But here's the
Absolutely.
point.
They won't allow it.
How do you get
The Israelis won't allow
How do you
that.
get rid of Hamas?
What you don't do...
To be moderately fair, actually, if they did have all of that, you could just have a normal war where there wouldn't be as many civilian deaths. But
I can tell you for a fact, is try and kill 30,000 of them with a 100-to-1 ratio. Because if you do that, then you're committing genocide. Because you'd have to kill 3 million Palestinians.
Rabbi Shmuley?
Do you even know the definition of genocide?
I haven't said genocide.
What's it? You just said it.
No, I said
it.
if you...
What is the definition of genocide?
I
What's
said
the definition?
conditional. I said if you do it.
You always
conditional.
claim to be an academic. You're always touting your Oxford credentials. What is the definition
All right.
of
Conditional.
genocide?
You said conditional.
Conditional.
Genocide
If you
is
do
where...
it, I said
Genocide
if you
is
do it,
where...
you'll be genocidal.
Genocide is where...
I didn't accuse.
Let him speak.
You target an ethnicity for extinction. Ethnicity, side, murder.
Yes, you do it. If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal or not? If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal or not?
Don't speak over each
There are
other.
1.8 million
Was the Holocaust a genocide?
Muslim
Was the Holocaust a
Arabs who
genocide?
live in total peace in Israel as equal citizens. In fact, Israel practiced reverse discrimination against the Jews.
I feel like,
Jews
to be fair, in this situation, it's like Rabbi Shmuley's doing that thing where someone's so heated that they hear a word and they didn't really even figure out what the person said, and they reacted to the word. Whereas what he did say was, if you were to do that, it would be genocide. He didn't actually say it was genocide. So this, you see, people do this, like when they get really heated. You say a word, and just to hear the word, and it triggers them, and they lose all sight of the context, and they just look at the word. Right? So it's slightly annoyed me, and you're like, no, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No, it's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No.
To fight Hamas. So, if Israel, excuse me, no, you will not interrupt me. If Israel, you will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not bully me. You will not interrupt me. I am not afraid of you.
I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid of you. The way, like, both of them have these tactics. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. And he's like, please, you're embarrassing yourself. Like, with this whole, like, intellectual hardman vibe. Please, you're embarrassing yourself, please. I thought this was going to be, to be honest, I thought we were going to sit here like covering, okay, they're both coming out with some crazy points. There aren't really any points, they're just screaming at each other and playing games. Oh, this is funny.
Tremble. Now, let me be clear.
Shaking.
Let me be
We're
clear.
getting nowhere if you shout over each other.
Well, then you need to control your guests, with all due respect.
Literally
Okay, he said
control both
he
guests.
said equal time, and there's no equal time. Now,
Yeah, he does. He's right, he bloody does need to control both guests. They're just both running away with the show their own way. They've got the indignant, I will not be moved, you will not make me, I am not afraid of you, from Rabbi Shmuley. And then you've got the please, you're embarrassing yourself. Will you pay respect to the picture? Respect the picture. All the tactics, please, from Mohammed Hijab. Oh dear, this is fantastic. This is just hilarious.
if Israel was interested in a genocide of the Palestinians, why do they have 1.8 million equal?
Oh, don't get me wrong, I want to be clear, I'm not trying to minimise all the people dying. I've been covering that a lot. It's terrible, it's horrendous. But like, we just, in the context of this debate, the topic they're talking about obviously is not hilarious. Just to be clear.
Arab Muslim citizens who are in the Israeli Supreme Court, who are 1/3 of the medical profession. Do you know that an Arab judge put the president of Israel in jail for accused rape? That was Moshe Katsav. That's how little Israel's an apartheid state, genocidal state. This man sitting next to me, Mohammed Hijab, will not distinguish between self-defense when Hamas comes to brutalize and murder your people versus when an army like Britain, like France, stops, retaliates to simply protect their citizens. You don't believe the Jews should have a right to defend themselves? Say it outright then say it.
The Jews have a right to defend themselves.
They do.
Yes, they do,
So that's why we have to go.
Everybody has a right to defend themselves.
That's why we have to go into Gaza to stop Hamas.
Yes, they can go into Gaza and stop Hamas.
But
no, they can go in, but don't. No, hey, hold on.
But
let me tell you my position. Let me tell you my.
So they can go in. Thank God.
He asked me a question. Can I answer it? Yes, they can go into even fight. Even Abu Ubaidah, the general of Hamas, he said, "Nahnu fi intidharikum" in Arabic. We are waiting for you. That's what he's been saying. Hold on. You've asked me a question.
Go ahead.
They do have a right. What I've been advocating all along is face-to-face confrontation. What I'm against, hold on, excuse me. What I'm against is a 100-to-1 ratio, because if you have 100,
let me finish. Come to this in block two.
All right. Okay, fine.
Hamas is hiding under hospitals.
Okay.
What face-to-face confrontation? Hamas is shooting children who are going south.
I'm okay with face-to-face confrontation. I like it.
Block two is exactly.
It's the honourable way.
Block two is exactly this question.
Go ahead, let's go.
My only observation,
he hasn't had
Rabbi Shmuley, so far, you're being more personal and ad hominem than he is.
With all due respect, I think that's extremely unfair, because every time I say anything, no, listen.
And you keep answering for him, when in fact, when you actually ask him questions,
because
he gives you straight answers.
If Mohammed Hijab wants to be a representative and ambassador of Islam, then he has to take responsibility for his position.
I don't want to be any of that.
He actually said that Islam believes in death. You're not going to beat us because we want to die. We're prepared to lose thousands of people. Is Islam really religion of death? You are a poor ambassador of your faith. You believe in martyrdom.
Of course.
Do you want to be a martyr?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to die fighting the Jews?
I didn't say Jews. Who said Jews?
Okay,
do you
want to be a martyr where? What does it mean?
Yes.
Martyr means someone who dies for his faith.
Muhammad told us, "Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed." Whoever dies defending themselves, defending their wealth, is a martyr. No.
Do you want to die defending Islam, but do you want Islam to be a religion of peace?
Hold on. This child for us is a martyr.
You're right.
Do you agree or not?
Because Hamas is using him as a human shield.
Really?
Hamas is hiding behind him.
Let's go to the next section.
Condemn Hamas.
All right, let's time out.
Come on, man.
Let's try not to talk over each other, because the viewers can't hear it, right? I don't mind the passion. Sure. I don't mind the debate. I don't mind the fire. I do mind if we can't hear what you're saying. It's pointless.
Let's do the minute.
Let's go to the second topic, right? This time,
it's not really a debate. It's a shouting match with both of them using silly tactics.
Shmuley, you will go first with a minute to say what you want to say, and then Mohammed Hijab, you'll get yours. Please? So the theme is this, and the question is this for Block 2. Has Israel gone too far in its response to the October the 7th terror attacks? Okay, Rabbi Shmuley, you have a minute starting now.
I just came here by taxi and passed a statue of Winston Churchill. That's in the lifetime of our parents, okay? He is the greatest British statesman of the 20th century. You know what he did when he had a genocidal threat, knowing that Hitler wanted to eviscerate, annihilate Britain? He carpet bombed all of Germany, Dresden, Essen, Hamburg. Israel has not even gotten close to that. Israel does not send its Air Force to carpet bomb cities. It sends in its military. I have a friend who died, six children, 39, because he was personally trying to stop a Hamas terror tunnel. Israel is surgical. Israel is only going after the fighters. Israel has opened humanitarian corridors for the Palestinians to go south. Hamas shoots them and makes sure they don't go. Hamas builds its military structures. Right, Shifa Hospital is this much hospital and it's this much military. They love using Palestinians. And that's why they've stolen their money. They got about $16 billion.
With the Shifa Hospital, what it seems like they found, it seems like, yeah, there may have been a weapons cache there, assuming everything they're showing was real. But it was like some AK-47s and it didn't look like enough to lay siege to a hospital. It's like, if you're going to lay siege to a hospital, you're going to cut power, you're going to do all of that, you better find some fucking crazy shit down there. Like, you better find the whole... Remember when they were doing the 3D graphic and it was like miles of bunkers? You better be finding that. You can't just go, we found a cache of, they've got guns and grenades. So it's not enough. That's not worth... It wasn't worth it. This is something the Israelis never quite figure out. Never even consider, is that just because there may be a target in an area, it may not be worth it to assault some kind of civilian structure for such a small target. If they'd have found the entire base underneath, they were claiming, with this command and control center and tunnels and leading to Israel, okay. But if you've got some guns and a few grenades, it kind of seems a bit shit. It's like, well, hang on a minute, wait. How many people must have died because you turned the power off and you got, what, a couple of guns?
In the international community, there isn't one bomb shelter in Gaza. They don't care about the civilians at all.
Okay.
Israel's doing the right thing.
Mohammed, you have a minute.
What I'm saying is the 100 to 1 ratio comes from the following figures. We know that 10,000 civilians have died. Of them, according to the IDF, as reported by The Guardian, 60, dozens, they say, about 60 Hamas died, which we're being liberal by saying 100 to 1 figures. For every one Hamas, you have to kill 100 civilians. That's effectively what we're saying. If the trajectory continues as it is, then you have to kill 3 million Palestinian civilians in order to kill 30,000 Hamas fighters. If you want to extinguish them, eviscerate them, annihilate them, destroy them, you have to do that. Now, you have Herzog, who is the president that you interviewed, saying that all Palestinians, they are responsible. This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You know, you seem obsessed with Jewish sex. It's bizarre. Yesterday, you actually spoke about Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yes,
you
I did.
actually you said
Yes,
to
I
Ben
did.
Shapiro,
Yes, I did.
your wife's a carrot. Well, you're more of a man. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
I did.
All right. Then you said that Jews have BDSM. You're speaking about sexual lubricants while people are dying. You know, Mohammed, get your head out of the Jewish bedroom. It's really bizarre.
Can we get it?
Let me be clear.
No.
Sexual lubricants? How embarrassing.
You sell dildos.
Can we get it back? Can we get it back to the topic?
You speak about 5-year-old girls being ready for sex.
Come on.
Listen, let's go back. Let's go back to the issue. Let's go back to the issue. Let's go back to the issue.
Let me ask.
Let's get to the debate.
Let me ask Mohammed a question. Right. I don't disagree with you that so far it seems to me, obviously, a fact that many, many more Palestinian civilians, innocent people, are getting killed as retribution by the Israelis for what happened on October the 7th. That's indisputable, right? Their argument is that they're going after a terror organization, Hamas, and unfortunately in war, as Rabbi Shmuley correctly said about what Churchill did in World War II.
Churchill was wrong.
Churchill was a war criminal?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Churchill was a war criminal.
Yes, he was. Churchill is a war criminal.
All the British
Let me
people
do
who
this.
live there
Churchill was a war criminal.
Okay,
Let me do
and
the
George
question.
VI was George VI war criminal.
All of them war criminals. Yes, of
So
course.
anyone that,
his
hang on,
Yes,
Rabbi
war
Shmuley.
criminal.
Let me ask. So let me get this
Absolutely.
straight. You think that
Collective punishment.
You think Winston Churchill
Was a war criminal, yes.
in standing up to the Nazis
By killing the
who
babies.
killed 12 million people?
I believe he was a war
that
criminal.
by doing what he did was a war criminal.
By killing in Dresden and Hamburg. By the indiscriminate killing. Collective punishment. My morality says that's impossible.
Okay, that means the British people who
That's
supported
impossible.
him
Can't
and
kill
voted him
children.
in, they were
My
also...
morality says that's impossible.
Just a second.
That's what I believe.
But the British people...
Yeah.
You believe he was a war criminal?
Yes.
So therefore, your belief is
fair, Churchill
no
did do a lot of that. Why not?
retaliatory
Sorry,
action.
No,
by
you can
any
retaliate to the man, not to the babies.
Tell me your war.
people...
Yeah.
You believe he was a war criminal?
Yes.
So therefore,
Yes.
your belief is that no...
To be fair, Churchill did do war crimes. Well, order. So, I mean, he literally created a famine in India, and the British governor of India said that to Churchill. Bear in mind, this isn't the left-wing anti-imperialist league. This is the British governor of India, right? Said to Churchill, the way you speak about Indians is worse than the way Hitler speaks about Jews. The literally imperial governor said this to Churchill. So wow, the guy was like, yeah, well, as a British man, obviously I should rule India. Was like, wow, this guy is racist. So yeah, and yeah, I think several million died. So Churchill definitely did war crimes against humanity.
Retaliatory action.
No, you can retaliate to the man, not to the babies.
Tell me a war in history
Yes.
where civilians haven't been killed.
No, I'm not saying civilians haven't been killed. It's
Just
about this
war
ratio.
or
It's about the
otherwise.
ratio. It's
No,
about
no,
the ratio.
What is the ratio?
What about the
What's the
ratio?
100 to 1 is unacceptable.
Actually,
What is the
morally,
ra-
100 to 1 is unacceptable.
Actually,
First of all,
morally,
101.
okay, well,
101 is an
101 is
hang
invention.
on, Rabbi Shmuley. So let me give you a ratio.
Yeah.
How many people did the Nazis kill?
I don't know.
You don't
12
know how
million.
many Nazis
We
killed?
know they killed 6 million
They
Jews in
killed
the
12
Holocaust.
million people,
I don't know. We don't know.
including
exactly.
6 million Jews,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So
12 million non-combatants.
how many died in Dresden? How many civilians died in Germany? Do you know?
I don't know exactly.
Right, so you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about because
You
I know in
called
Dresden
Churchill-
and Hamburg.
You said
if
it's
he's
about you. Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unless I'm wrong,
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
said it's to do with the
Ratios.
The ratios.
Yes.
But you don't know the ratios. When
No,
you
no,
call,
I know for a fact
when you
Dresden
call
and
Winston Churchill
What are the
a criminal.
numbers?
Dresden and Hamburg.
What are the
When you-
numbers of
Wait
Dresden
a
and
minute,
Hamburg?
Rabbi Shmuley. When you
Dresden-
call Winston Churchill a criminal,
Yeah, I believe
you're
a war
basing
criminal.
it on ratios you don't even know what they are.
No, I know there's difference of opinion among the scholars.
No, there isn't.
There is difference.
Say- tell us the
Of course.
opinions.
What do
What
you
are
mean
they? Tell us what they are.
Hold on. There's of
How
course-
many in Dresden?
Excuse me. Stop speaking for
How
a
many in
second.
Dresden?
Am I speaking to him or
How
you?
many in Dresden?
Whatever the number,
You don't know
if
it
it's
all.
indiscriminate, I'm against it.
No, he doesn't.
That's
He doesn't.
my
Rabbi Shmuley, you respond.
Dresden's about 25,000, and at the time the Germans were saying 250,000. We know it's about 25,000 today. Let me be clear. Winston Churchill was the greatest statesman of the 20th century. He
an opinion.
saved the world from
I agree.
Nazi terror.
Yeah.
That you could live in a country that is only around today.
Yeah, no, it's all true. He did all the really great stuff. He did do some bad stuff though. Like people are complicated. Churchill did some really great stuff defending like probably Britain couldn't have stayed in the war without kind of somebody who was a bit mental like Churchill, right? Somebody who's just not going to give up. However, he was also a big racist. He did also do a lot of war crimes.
Because of the bravery
Both
that
can be
man
true.
showing
It
no
can be bad and
gratitude
good.
is the height of
Stick on topic. Stick on topic.
and to call all the British people who defeated the Nazis, stop interrupting me.
Stick
Who
on topic.
defeated
Please
the
let each other
Nazis,
speak.
war criminals,
Stick on topic.
his parents, all the other people,
Off topic,
war
off
criminals.
topic, off
Let me ask Rabbi Shmuley a question.
Wrong. No. Let me be clear. Let me
Off topic, off topic.
Don't interrupt
Let me
each
be
other.
clear. Muhammad Hijab trades in falsehoods. 300.
Piers doesn't know what to do. So please don't. He's had lost control of this. He sort of looked like he was regaining control for a bit, but I just don't think he can control either of them. You got like two completely uncontrollable guests on.
To 1. What are you talking
100
about?
to 1.
And now he
I
says
said 100 to 1.
the Jews are about to kill 3 million Palestinians.
I didn't say they're about to. I said
the
if.
fact that this man considers
You don't
himself an
understand.
Oxford academic. I was a rabbi at Oxford University for 11 years. This is
you graduate
a
from there?
travesty.
Did you graduate from there?
This is a
Let me ask
travesty.
you a question.
that
Wait a
he.
minute.
Did you graduate from any
I
university?
have a rabbinical.
Did you graduate?
Let me answer.
You excommunicated.
Let me answer.
Well, you
Let me
excommunicated,
answer.
right? I swear you excommunicated from the
I
rabbis.
am a
All right,
rabbinical.
I've been excommunicated.
Can I speak?
This is pointless.
Go on.
Rabbi Shmuley, is there a limit to the number of civilians in Gaza that Israel can kill to try and
That's a
eliminate
good question.
Hamas?
That's a great question.
Yes, there is.
What's
Thank
the
you,
limit?
but let me ask you.
Not even one. Not one beautiful Palestinian child should have to die because Hamas kicked out Mahmoud Abbas.
That wasn't my question.
And not one should have to die. What the answer to your question is that Hamas, if they surrender unconditionally, then
Which they're not
all of
gonna
that.
do.
Okay, fine.
But is there a limit?
Then let them allow all the civilians.
Is there a limit?
Israel said that all the civilians can leave. All the civilians should go south.
go where?
Beg them, and that's something that militaries.
Yeah, but now to be fair, they're like Hamas have all just gone south. So now Israel's like, well, Hamas all went south, so we need to bomb the south, which was obviously going to happen. Like I don't even think Israel are lying. Like obviously, if you're Hamas and Israel's like, we're going to bomb the north, you're going to go, okay, see you later. I'm a civilian. I'm heading south. And that was obviously going to happen. So, yeah, this is the problem. Israel, I don't know if Israel even can eliminate Hamas. And even if they could, like, the world's not going to accept 40,000 deaths. Israel's always really lost sympathy. Like, really quickly by killing like 10,000. They kill 40, 50, 60,000. Like, it's not feasible. I think you can't look at it and go that. I don't see how international support's going to be maintained. And Israel have presented no exit strategy. So
never do. Churchill did not tell the people in Dresden, come on, and you came with all your notes.
We get the point.
I'm not.
It's like murder porn, isn't it? It's like fucking like war porn. It's like got the picture. Look at
People in Dresden, come on, and you came with all your notes.
I realise that my laughter is very much helped by I can't see whatever is on that picture because I'm sure that is horrific and it's some child with his brains everywhere. Obviously, absolutely horrendous, like awful. It's just the way he's using it. To be fair, I have been saved a lot by the fact that this is blurred out because you come there's literally just some baby with his head he's like with his head like smashed, but. So obviously, the absolute horrendous. I'm not in any way laughing at any civilian deaths. However, look at him just holding it out. No, come on. That's just like that because that's more disrespectful. I'm sorry. That's super like to that kid or whatever. It's like look. That's like hitting him in the face with it in a minute.
I'm not here.
We get the point, Mohammed. I get the point.
This is all proof that he can't debate me. So he has to use these images. Debate me. We didn't ask you to come on with all your exhibits.
Rabbi Shmuley, let me ask you a question. A member of the cabinet in Israel was actually quoted as saying that nuclear weapons were an option that Israel could use. No one's ever confirmed Israel has nuclear weapons. It's long been suspected. That seemed pretty clear confirmation.
Why are you against nuclear weapons?
Hang on.
If you're not against Dresden, why are you against nuclear weapons?
Let me ask the question.
Because like you can literally obliterate a city with one bomb. Don't get me wrong. I don't think. If I was in charge, I'm not really sure I would do Dresden either. But like, if people start nuking each other, it'd be Armageddon.
Let me ask.
No, but why are you against it?
I've done this before. This job. Let me do it.
Go on.
Okay. So when that guy says that, if you're living as an innocent civilian in Gaza, what the hell are you thinking? That an Israeli government member threatens the use of a nuclear weapon, which would obliterate pretty much all of Gaza and everyone in it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the question. If that were true, why hasn't Israel used nuclear weapons against Nasser?
What? If some Meshuggah says we should do it, right? No one will say it's the policy, but they're saying they're looking at ministers saying insane stuff. You've got Smotrich in there. You've got Itamar Ben-Gvir, who for years had a picture of, what's his name, something Goldstein, who basically ran into a mosque in, I think, Ramallah and massacred 60-odd people, children, old ladies, all sorts. Israel calls him a terrorist. His organisation's banned in Israel. He's regarded as complete terror. Ben-Gvir had a picture of him in his who's the security minister. Ben-Gvir, the security minister, a man who says, I'm a proud fascist, whose party is called the National Front. Literally, it's called the Jewish National Front. Had a picture of a fucking terrorist in his room for years. He's the security minister. I'm sorry. You just go, oh, well, I mean, Netanyahu's not 100% listening to everything they've said. It's like, well, especially given all the shit Netanyahu's gotten up to in his life, it's kind of like, it's much of a muchness.
When he
invaded.
If I was a politician, surely you'd be very worried that could happen when you've got those people in government.
Well, hold on.
It's true this guy threatened
and the answer is no. I know the guy, and I spoke to him about it. His name is Amichai Eliyahu. Israel has never carpet bombed any Arab.
Hang on, Mohammed.
Ever. Now.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked a question by a provocative interview, and he said, well, if you're going to bomb the same thing, it was like it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to kill all the Arabs, 3 million people, just drop a bomb. He said, well, if you want to drop a bomb, drop a bomb. He was being dismissive and stupid, and he put out a statement the next day saying that never in history would the Jews ever even contemplate doing that. Let's remember one thing. The only place in...
Yeah, but back in 67, it was before all of these... was that what you're saying, that this was in 67? Sorry, I just want to
the same thing. It was like it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to... By a provocative interview... Ever. Now.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked a question... Israel has never carpet bombed any Arab.
Hang on, Mohammed.
1967
ever.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked a question by a provocative interview, and he said, well, if you're going to bomb the same thing, it was like it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to kill all the Arabs, 3 million people, just drop a bomb. He said, well, if you want to drop a bomb, drop a bomb. He was being dismissive and stupid, and he put out a statement the next day saying that never in history would the Jews ever even contemplate doing that. Let's remember one thing. The only place in the Middle East, one second, Piers, the only place in the Middle East where Arabs have any freedoms, Israel. The only place where they vote openly, Israel. The only place where Palestinian women can dress the way they want, Israel. And let's be clear, when Mohammed Hijab gets up and says that we Palestinians want...
Like, that is true. Israel do use that to try and cover their actions sometimes, but that is true. That's why Mohammed Hijab's like, rather than offering arguments. Like, that is true. Like, that is true. And also, no, it's not true about the wearing what they want. I think they can wear what they want in countries like Lebanon and places, despite all the insane stuff that goes on there. But, yeah.
Want to be a religion of death? You know, I just got a haircut coming here by an Arab barber here in London, and he said to me, I hope you defeat this guy because he doesn't represent us. We want to live. We want to have good lives. We want to be religious. We want to eat halal. But we...
I want to defeat this guy. Well, I said, I hope you defeat this guy. If that's true and not made up, it does have a little flavour of the made up to it. I get a feeling like Rabbi Shmuley's like, I'm defeating this guy, and he's evil, and he wants Islam to be a religion of death, and he supports terror, and he wants violence, and he wants everything. The guy's like, listen, I hope you know we're not all like that. That's no idea who Mohammed Hijab is. Listen, I hope you know we're not anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Mohammed... I've not watched enough of Mohammed Hijab stuff. Maybe he says some crazy stuff. Given the way he's behaving, I can imagine it. But
don't want to die for Margaret.
Like, if that happened, I feel that there's a lot more to the story. That's all I'm saying.
You are not a Muslim. You're an Islamist.
Let me ask Mohammed a question. Let me ask Mohammed a question.
Stop it, calm down. Like, he plays these tactics. I mean, they both do. But Mohammed Hijab's funny. I don't think he's trying to be funny, but, like, you know what? If he ever became an atheist or something, he should just carry on doing this, but just as pure trolling. Because if he was just trolling and not trying to make himself seem like some kind of intellectual, if he, it would just be funny. I'm sorry.
Hamas has 240 hostages.
Stop.
Hamas has 240 hostages they took, including babies, young kids, grandmothers who survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean, an unspeakable further criminal act. We can agree, right?
Of course.
Why should Israel agree to any ceasefire so long as those hostages are still being kept hostage?
Look, my position is very clear. They should fight man to man on the ground. On the ground.
Well, they are.
That fighting.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That fighting, no one can. This is
Mohammed, that's exactly what they're doing.
I know.
Man to man, they took hostages.
Excuse me.
They took babies as hostages.
He's asked me the question.
They took infants as hostages.
Let him answer the question.
You're getting excited here. I know it's your sexual.
He's getting so as if he hasn't been excited. That was insulting him because he's written books about like kosher sex and stuff. With the sexual stuff. I want to see what he says to the sexual.
You're getting excited here. I know it's your sexuals implying you're the sex rabbi.
Now you're
The sex rabbi. But Piers is like, leave it for fuck's sake. We're not about his daughter selling lubricants earlier.
back to my sex
Leave
life.
it.
You're getting overexcited.
Leave
Get
it,
your head out of my
Mohammed.
bedroom, Mohammed.
Getting overexcited with
Next
the
topic.
Beneath you.
He's getting excited with me.
Let me ask
disgusting,
the questions.
honestly.
You guys answer them. Mohammed, answer my question. Why, if you're Israel, would you ever agree to a ceasefire if those hostages aren't released?
I'm telling you what my position is. My position is man-to-man combat.
Which is what they're doing now.
No, that part of it is understandable. Do you understand?
That's what they're doing.
No problem. But what I think is not understandable, what is not acceptable, because you said, what's a proportionate response? That's the question you keep asking everybody. My answer to you is a proportionate response is one where in which the ratios are not 100 to 1.
That's
on the,
your invention.
Excuse me, please.
Where does that come from?
I'll
What's
tell
your
you what.
source?
Okay,
Tell me the source. Tell me the source.
IDF.
The
I can't go
IDF.
your time.
Yeah, sure. Tell
Can't
me
go your time.
when did they say it?
They said, no, this is my position. But you have to give me 10 seconds at least to answer, right? Legally, I think you shouldn't call Hamas a terrorist organization if you're not calling IDF a terrorist organization. That's my position.
But you do both.
Hold on.
Call them terrorists.
Hold on.
Let him answer.
Hold on, let me finish. Because as we said, the UN definition of what a terrorist organization is to kill civilians in order to achieve a political objective. However, on a moral and theological, philosophical level, I agree with Rosalind Higgins, who was the justice of the International Criminal Court, right? The Court of Justice, ICJ, a British justice. By the way, she was a Holocaust survivor as well. She was Jewish. And her position is that she believes that the word terrorism or terrorist is actually useless. And she says that I'm putting to her...
Can you answer my question?
He's going on just to evade the question.
Let me finish. So I'm answering your question. So I'm saying that as a moral construct, I think it's a neo-colonial social construct used by people in order to label some people as terrorists and other people as well. So as a moral category, I don't designate it as a moral category. As a legal category.
Do you believe, you personally, Mohammed, do you believe that the IDF and Hamas are both terror organizations?
I think yes. If you say yes to IDF, you should say yes to Hamas.
No,
if you say no to IDF,
I'm asking you what you
Hamas
believe.
is a terrorist organization.
What you believe.
If you say yes to IDF, you can say yes to Hamas.
No, I'm asking you what you believe.
Yes, I believe legally, according to the definition, if you say yes to Hamas, you can say yes to the IDF.
Pierce, we could go on.
If you say hello, it just goes. If you say yes to Hamas, you can say yes to the IDF. You can say it.
We are going to the next.
If you say no to the IDF, you can't say yes.
It's fine. We're going to the next block. But that's interesting.
But morally, I don't believe the category has any weight.
No, but you
morally, it has no designation.
But you have made your position clear, which is that you believe they're both terror organizations.
I believe that according to the law, absolutely.
Okay, and that's interesting to me. Okay,
but I have to say,
wait. Let's come to
when
the
you
next.
call the IDF a terror organization, the IDF keeps 1.8 million Arabs alive in Israel.
100 to 1 ratio.
Hamas.
Yeah, so exactly, because they don't kill those Arabs, they're nice to all the other Arabs. You see? Some of my best friends
This is invention. It's a fabrication.
Let me move on to the last.
I've got a picture again!
This is how you lose a debate when you need to bring...
This is just like pornographic at this point. It's just pornographic.
My son
You could be dead like that.
My son is in the IDF. You're here in the safety of a studio talking about how you want to do martyrdom. You're really risking your life here, Mom. You're big talk.
Your son could be dead right now.
You attack Ben Shapiro's wife.
Your son is an IDF.
You actually posted a clip saying that... Someone else saying that Islam teaches you how to get women to listen to their husbands. This is all false bravado, false machismo. If you're a real man, go to the Middle East and fight. What are you doing in a television studio?
Can we move?
Wait, did he just say his son? Wait, is Shmuley's son in the IDF? Is that what he was saying? That his son could come in a body bag? So I think his son. Imagine if your son was saying
that. So much here, Mom. You're big talk.
Your son could be dead right now.
You attack Ben Shapiro's wife.
Your son is an IDF.
You actually posted a clip saying that someone else saying that Islam teaches you how to get women to listen to their husbands. This is all false bravado, false machismo. If you're a real man, go to the Middle East and fight. What are you doing in a television studio?
Can we move to the last one?
You should be there. You have the right to fight with the IDF.
No, I'm not.
You use your son as a human shield.
You try to bully people in debates, and it's being allowed in this.
He's using his son as a human shield.
I want to move to the...
Right. His son, you want to use your son as a human shield. So satisfied. Look at his face. Look at his face when he thought of that.
Move to the last one.
You should be there. You have the right to fight with the IDF.
No, I'm not.
You use your son as a human shield.
I want to move to the last ironically themed subject. Is peace possible? Okay. Not on this basis, right? But we've got to try and get to peace. So you get a minute each again.
I love that this has become like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where they're both mental. They're both completely nuts. And each one of them is so convinced that they're absolutely right that there could just never be a court.
Mohammed, you'll go first this time. So you get a minute from now.
Okay, so I just want to say that this man is...
No. Is peace possible? Is peace ever possible?
Can I speak uninterrupted?
No, you've got to speak about the subject.
I can say why he's been attacking me.
Don't attack him personally. We're not going to use it. It's pointless. Okay. I'm going to take it, just for the record, we'll put it on YouTube so people can see it all in context, right? But on my show, I'm just not going to have half of this, what I thought was going to be a serious debate, taken up with you two personally abusing each other. It's pointless.
Excuse me. Von Bismarck said, I repay people with the currency that they pay me with.
Right.
If he's going to come with ad hominems, as you've acknowledged, I can come back with
Right, but you did, and you shouldn't have done, because you had the high moral ground.
Ad hominems?
No, I believe
This man is bringing up Jewish sex.
Each other.
Stop in
You've
this
both
entire
been as
debate.
bad as
We
each
haven't
other.
even mentioned that.
On the personal stuff, you've been as bad as each other. Let's start again. You get a minute from now. Is peace ever possible? Go.
Justice is a prerequisite.
It literally is. You've been as bad as each other, for fuck's sake. It literally is literally like a fucking microcosm of the fucking conflict.
For peace. In South Africa, when the apartheid system, which we know for a fact Israel is an apartheid state because it has laws like the right of return, which only allow Jewish people to come into the country. And if they convert, by the way, to Christianity or to Islam, they are stripped from that right, it meets completely the definition of apartheid as per Cornell Law School and according to the UN Convention 1973. It's an apartheid system. And as a prerequisite of an apartheid system, you have to be a racist. If you support that, you're a racist. No doubt about it. So number one, 1973 apartheid law. If the black South Africans have been displaced, by the whites, and then they were trying to come back into their country and they were not allowed, and then you ask them, is peace possible? That's not the question we'd be asking them. We'd be asking them, is justice possible? And that's the question that we're going to be asking, because he can sit there and talk about all these things where the IDF, his son Mendy is being attacked vibrated by the rockets, and he's selling him and his daughter selling vibrators to the public.
Unnecessary thing at the end again.
I hope you keep that in.
Rabbi Shmuley,
okay.
1 minute on, is peace ever possible?
Of course. I revere countries like the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, where I've spoken several times. I am safer as a Jew wearing a yarmulke in Dubai and Abu Dhabi than I am on the campus of Columbia University or even Harvard these days. The Mohammed bin Zayed is just an incredible leader. I saw in the Gulf states the Islam that Mohammed Hijab rejects, but the Islamic world embraces. That's why they made peace with Israel. It's a technologically advanced, tolerant, forward-looking, very traditional, very religious Islam, and that's why they've made peace with Israel, and peace will continue to be made. All of these countries are praying for Israel.
He's got the picture out again.
Because Mohammed Hijab is an outlier. He's an extremist, and his views, whether his views as he represents them at Speaker's Corner of things about women being subject. Okay. But let me just be clear. All of the Arab countries want Hamas destroyed. And the proof is, when they had their conference in Riyadh last week, they did not even once call to bring in any evacuees because they want Israel to establish a more democratic regime in Gaza, which they will do. Israel's winning this war.
Here's my follow-up to both of you, right? Just give me a very, very quick snapshot of, in 20 years' time, how peace could have been achieved. Very quickly.
Okay, the first thing is, when Israel withdrew in 2005, almost 20 years ago, if Hamas had not come to power, if they had taken all the international aid that they got, tens of billions of dollars, peace would have been achieved by building businesses, entrepreneurship,
How do we get
schools.
there now?
Okay, we get there now by destroying Hamas.
Well, if they'd have done this 20 years ago.
Making sure that there's democratic elections, let the Palestinian people, not Mohammed Hijab, not Shmuley, Boteach, not Piers.
I mean, you both agree Hamas should be gone, right? We can agree on this, right?
We agree that there should be a bigger Palestinian Authority with armies and airplanes.
And the
way we have
They
peace,
should have tanks.
in the history of the
no
world,
tanks.
no two democratic
and rockets
powers have ever gone to war. That's why, since the end of the Second World War, there's been no war here in Europe. We need to see a democratic Gaza. Hamas won an election in 2006.
There's a war in Europe now, by the way.
Correct,
Ukraine.
because it's against a tyranny. I said no two democracies ever gone to war. Putin is not a democracy; he's a tyrant. In the history of the world, no two democracies have ever fought a war. We have a democracy in Gaza.
So what does peace look like in 20 years?
Peace looks like the Arabs voting for their rulers, voting and backing them, seeing Israel as a partner, not being humiliated that because of this tiny little red dot surrounded that's humiliation.
Two-state solution?
I'll tell you. If two-state solution is a Hamas state wanting to eviscerate Israel,
he doesn't believe in it.
But he doesn't believe in a two-state solution. He believes in a final solution. That's what really scares me. You don't believe in a two-state solution. You believe in a final solution.
The
way you speak about Jews, you believe in a final solution, and it scares Jews.
Do you believe in a two-state solution?
I love Jewish people.
If that second state is Mexico
Jewish
and
people are
Canada,
fantastic
yeah.
people.
If that second
I love
state
kosher meat.
is Gaza, then of course not, because it'll just become another genocidal enemy wanting to wipe Israel off the map.
That's pretty unequivocal. He doesn't really want a two-state solution.
I don't want a two-state solution. That's a terrorist state to destroy Israel.
I personally
of course
believe this whole question should be left to the Palestinians of what kind of solution they want. However, having said that, this man has written in his book, A War in Israel, that is the settlements.
I didn't write a book called A War in Israel.
It's called the Israel Warrior, something like that.
Thank you. Thanks for plugging that.
Fantastic.
I appreciate
fantastic.
that. Thank you very much.
In that book, he writes
Thank you, Mohammed.
that the
God bless
issue of,
you.
the issue of settlements that me and you both condemn, Piers.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, we do. He doesn't condemn it because he sees an ancient biblical reason to be in that whole land.
Oh, I think Arabs and Israelis should be able to live wherever they want. I want Arabs to live in Jerusalem. I want Arabs to live in Tel Aviv. I want Jews to live there. I don't believe in the Judenrein in Israel. I don't believe in Ireland. I am so proud that Israel has 1.8 million Arab Muslim citizens who are protected by the IDF. He calls the IDF a terrorist. They are defending Muslim lives.
What you should be less proud
They're defending
of is
those
the
Muslim
rapid
lives.
expansion
They're defending
of
those
Arab
ones, to be
Muslims
fair.
on the
Come
West
on.
Bank.
That's
It has
right.
been incredibly
Do you condemn that?
divisive.
Do you condemn that?
It's been, in my view, illegal. It's been declared illegal.
Illegal
and
by
it shouldn't have
everyone's view.
happened.
Well, Piers, let me
human rights.
There are many things
the
I'll
US
defend.
court considers
There
it.
are many things I'll defend Israel about. That is indefensible.
But let me answer.
Absolutely.
If you go to places in Judea and Samaria and the West Bank,
Why are you calling Judea and Samaria?
Because
Why
those
do you do
are
that?
the biblical lands.
Who cares?
Why do you call something Arabia? It's where the Arabs
No,
are from.
it's
Judea
not
is
their
where the Jews
land.
are from.
It's not their land. Why are you calling it
You
something
don't
else?
know history. It was always Judea and Samaria. The
actually,
West
it wasn't.
Bank is
It
the
was
West
Canaan.
Bank
It's
of a
Canaan.
river.
According to the Bible.
We don't call
Canaan according to the
California
Bible.
the West
Why are you
Bank of the
calling it Canaan?
Mississippi
Call it
River.
Canaan.
Now, let me go
Don't
back.
talk
Let me go
over
back.
each
Let me go
other.
back.
Call it Canaan.
If you go to the Barkhan Industrial Park in Judea and Samaria, you will see, I've met the Palestinians, I've interviewed them. They are paid 20 times the salary working for people you call settlers. They want them there. It brings civilization.
Speaking
It's
a lot,
only
by the way.
jihadis who
I
don't
wanna
want it.
come
It's
back.
only jihadis. And that's why
That's
you're
not
saying...
true.
Yes, it is true.
That's not true.
I've interviewed
I
them
know
myself.
many Palestinians
Can
I've
I just
spoken
make
to
a...
who definitely do not want them
do you know...
to
you know-
continue
excuse
to
me,
settle.
You know
Let me come to
Palestinians who want to live under Mahmoud Abbas
Shmuley.
with no democracy?
Shmuley.
Let me come to
and
Mohammed.
afraid to criticize
Let
and throw
Mohammed
into
speak.
jail?
Mohammed.
Yes, my friend Mohammed. Go ahead, Mohammed. Please, please,
be a
please.
conversation, Shmuley.
You're wearing my favorite blue color. Of course
What's
I'll
he
let you
doing
speak.
now? What voice?
For that reason?
Oh,
Brilliant.
Shmuley, please, let's have a conversation, please.
You're wearing my favorite blue color. Of course I'll let you. Yes, my friend Mohammed. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Come on,
Please,
let's
please,
be a
please.
conversation, Shmuley.
You're wearing my favorite blue color. Of course I'll let you speak.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
For that reason?
Yes,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
What, just because I'm wearing the blue?
My mother loved that color, and she
Did she
passed
like-
away
I
this
thought it
year,
was-
so it
I
reminds me of it. So
I
thank
thought
you.
it would have been
Thank you.
because of Israel, because you...
Oh, that's right. You wore the Israeli
It's Israeli
colors
colours.
today.
Is it-
Mohammed,
is that-
my
is
brother,
that
can we
what-
shake hands?
No, please, I don't want to, because your hands are
Really?
shaking.
Oh,
Your
I'm
hands are
sorry,
shaking.
but I mean, look how peaceful.
Why
I
are your
am.
hands
You wouldn't
shaking?
shake my hand.
No, I'll shake hands with you.
You wouldn't shake my hand.
After what you said today about me, I can't shake your hand. But here's what I'm
After what you
excuse me,
said
stop,
about
stop.
my sex life, and I'm shaking your hand.
Stop. I just want to say.
You won't shake my hand.
you know-
Let him speak.
You won't shake my hand.
The problem
Rabbi,
is-
let him
Sad.
speak.
That's really
You
sad.
know-
I guess there will be no peace.
What he said there is a little bit telling, because the blue colors in Israel and all that kind of stuff. He defended Dershowitz, which was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, for that very reason, because he's a supporter of Israel.
I defended
I wanna know,
Dershowitz.
did you go?
Dershowitz and I fought over him going to
defended
Qatar.
him.
You don't know anything.
You wrote it on the Observer.
You're
You wrote it on the
Your
Observer.
abysmal
You wrote it on the
ignorance
Observer.
is shocking.
Irrelevant.
Me
You wrote
and
it on the
Alan
Observer.
Dershowitz had a huge fight
irrelevant.
over
Did you go
him
to the island?
defending Qatar.
Did you go to the island?
Who gives,
Come on, guys.
Did I
Get
go
back to topic.
Epstein's
Did you go to the island?
Mohammed.
Yeah.
Are you-
Mohammed.
Anyway,
Really?
20 years'
Really?
time.
Mohammed, wait.
20 years
You see,
time. No,
this
I don't care about
this is
Alan
not a
Dershowitz.
debate.
I know
This
Alan
is a
Dershowitz.
slugfest.
We're not
This is
going
a
to
mudfest.
use
This
the
is
stuff about Alan
disgusting.
Dershowitz. Forget it.
What is
right?
your obsession with sex? I don't get it.
I'm not
Read my
going to
book.
use
I'll
any.
give you
Both
as a
of you
gift.
seem totally obsessed with sex.
Unbelievable. Well,
Leave
I wrote a
sex
book
out
called
of it.
Kosher Sex for Marriages.
I don't
didn't
care
get
about
people's bedrooms.
I don't care about.
Now Shmuley's champing the reason. Well, because like, hey, I want to shake your hand. Why wouldn't you shake my hand? That's kind of a Giga Chan move as well. It's like, I want to shake your hand. Why don't you shake my hand after I've been fighting all night?
Either of your sex lives, okay?
He seems
Let me
pretty
ask you,
interested
Mohammed.
in mine.
20 years' time.
I'm not interested.
20 years' time, what does the potential peace look like?
I don't know, but that's a speculative question, to be honest. You're asking me a hypothetical. You
Two-state
don't do
solution?
I don't know. You're asking me hypothetical questions.
I
You said
am,
you don't
yeah.
do- I asked you a hypothetical. You said I don't do hypotheticals.
I wanted to give me hope.
Why did you not answer my hypothetical question? If you're asking me a
Which
hypothetical
one?
question, the Belfast question. Why?
Huh?
Remember, I asked you the Belfast question and you didn't answer it.
I don't think there is. The only parallel. I think
Why didn't you
between
answer that one?
Because they're different situations.
No, but it's hypothetical. You're asking me a hypothetical now. Why?
But you have to answer. I'm just asking you.
No, but why do you have a
I
double
don't
standard?
think asking you how peace might look like is hypothetical.
No, it's talking about the future in a hypothetical.
Piers, can I
How would
say
you
this?
let me rephrase it. How would you like it to be resolved, this crisis?
Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, look. Yes, let's look at history.
River
right?
to the sea. That's how you want it, right? No Israel. Come
Let
on.
him answer.
Well,
Don't
that's
answer
what I'm
for
saying.
him.
Honestly, you'll be surprised to know this. And people talk about, you said this, I have to correct you. I looked at the Hamas charter, Hamas themselves, yeah? In Article 16, even they say you can have, in Article 31, they say that you can have peace between, they can have a shared land between Christians, Muslims, and Jews. They even say that. I think the most radical elements, everybody you want, the jihadis, these one, that one, no one actually wants the extermination of Jewish people. That's a lie.
Actually, that's not true.
The Hamas
That's not
charter.
true.
Wait. Now let me speak.
I'll tell you
the
who.
Hamas
I'll tell you
charter.
who.
Piers, you know, let me
Yeah.
speak.
I'll tell you
Hamas
who.
charter
Yeah.
calls
People-
for the
the
Hamas
people-
charter says that behind every single tree and stone
That's hadith.
where a Jew.
That's hadith of the Prophet.
Now you're saying that the
that's
Prophet
hadith.
That wouldn't
Muhammad
even
said
be
that?
my
Yeah,
answer.
Muhammad said that.
It says
Hadith.
that every
My
Jew has
answer
to
is
be
simpler.
murdered. How
My
can you
answer is
possibly
simpler.
deny that?
That's hadith.
You know, you have.
That's hadith.
What's the hadith say? What does
The
it say?
hadith says in the end of it's an eschatological
ahead.
hadith.
Yes, go ahead.
It's an eschatological hadith,
ahead.
which says that on the end of times there'll be a war and there will be trees and stones that say behind me is a Jew killing.
So Muhammad is saying that the Jews should be
Yeah,
killed?
this is a hadith which has been
What
misinterpreted.
does it mean?
So, but
What does
anyway,
it mean? What does it
No,
mean?
it means that it's an eschatological. It's not an imperative.
does it mean?
It's not an imperative.
Are you
Muhammad,
obligated
it's
to
not
kill a
an
Jew
imperative.
according to the
Muhammad,
hadith? You're not. Okay.
I'll tell you.
Why do you-
But they don't
Wait a
interpret
You
minute.
pick and choose.
They
So you
don't-
pick and choose.
No, excuse me.
You pick and
Let me
choose.
Let me
answer
ask you a question.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Is this a theological question? So I'm answering you. This hadith is called an eschatological. You know this because you're a theologian. It's an eschatological hadith. It's not talking about.
It's not literal.
It's not It's not like 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse number 3, where it says, "Go and kill the men, women, children, donkeys, and oxen." Which, by the way, Netanyahu quoted.
No,
Amalek.
that's not true.
He quoted Amalek. He said you can
not
kill
true
them
at
1
all.
minute. It's not like that.
See,
Let me-
this is the
let me-
borderline.
He did quote him out like, oh God, it literally does say that. I'm sorry. Like, you can't, this is the problem, right? You're not going to have a war between the fucking holy books of the Abrahamic faiths about which is the most violent. Because they're all fucking violent.
People of saying the Jews want to
Can I get a word in here?
But Piers,
Let
we
me
have
put
to
a
be
point
fair.
to. She's going to put a point to Muhammad.
In the story of Amalek, God says to the Jews, you have to kill all of them. It does with the Canaanites too. It says you have to kill every single one of them. And they're so evil, even their animals, it's not just the children, the people, everything. Eradicate them. The animals, you have to destroy their crops. You can't even eat their food. You have to burn their fields, kill their animals, smash their houses, grind to dust any reference that they ever existed. So, it's funny old thing, isn't it, religion?
I tell you who wants the absolute annihilation of every Jew they can get their hands on. All the Hamas terrorists who crossed the border
why
on
they
October the 7th,
Yeah,
who
okay,
gleefully
fine.
recorded
Yeah,
it,
fine.
boasted about it,
now I saw it.
and
Fine.
the Hamas official, wait a minute,
Yeah.
and the Hamas official spokesman who only last week said they want to do it again and again and again. If you don't think Hamas
here we agree.
are wedded as an organisation to the annihilation of Jewish people, you are living in
It's in their charter. In their charter, it says that they will murder every
said in their
Jew
action.
in London, in Washington.
They've showed us what they want to do.
That I agree with. Hold on. Let me tell you why I agree or disagree. Both the IDF and Hamas, on paper, say they don't want the annihilation of Muslims and Jews.
No. The Hamas charter says that's not
no, it doesn't.
true. I'm not
Look
going
at
to.
it. Look
The
at
Hamas
it. Look at
charter
it.
says explicitly that every Jew will be murdered by Hamas. They are a genocidal charter. Yes, it is. And you're not. You are lying. You are lying. I'm sorry. It's not true.
Nobody can hear either of you. Right, the point is, in my estimation, after October the 7th,
Piers, give me a
Hamas
chance.
are now
Piers, give me a chance.
openly boastful, genocidal
it's not.
bunch
Let me
of
tell you why.
terrorists.
Yes.
Hold on.
With terrorists calling their parents
Let
and
him
saying, I
answer.
killed 10 Jews.
I just said
The Likud Party in 1999 had the charter, and in it they said they want the whole of Israel, including, as he believes, the West Bank and Gaza and everything. If we are going to, because there is,
Did it say they would kill Arabs? God forbid. Arabs are equal citizens. Arabs will be equal citizens.
Let me finish.
Yeah, but you can't just annex all the land. Plus, they're not currently equal citizens in the West Bank. So, I mean, that's just not true. I mean, like, both. This is what I mean. This is why I knew this was going to be funny. I didn't realize quite how funny. But both of them have extreme, kind of indefensible positions where they're entirely one-sided and insanely. I don't even think the word is passionate. I think the word is just like unhinged. They're both like totally unhinged about both sides. Oh. This is like, it's just a microcosm of Israel-Palestine. This is like a microcosm of the Israeli-Palestinian debate. It's like two sides who both say crazy shit, who both try and defend the indefensible or like wriggle out of it. Neither of them are interested in a fair or interesting discussion. They just want to shout at each other. They just want to scream at each other.
They're not equal because there's apartheid laws.
No, there's no apartheid law.
Law of return.
The apartheid
law
law.
of return.
So let me explain that.
No, let me
right
get
now,
to the point.
You can go to
One thing at a
Portugal
time.
and Spain and show that if you have ancestry, they give you citizenship. That's Israel. If
Not
you're
Arabs.
Jewish,
Not Arabs.
no, every country.
Arabs or not?
Listen, this
Arabs
is
or not?
the country.
Arabs or not?
Muhammad.
Aha.
Muhammad, let me speak. Let me speak. We live in a Christian country where the sovereign head of state is a Christian. I'm a Jew. I never said.
Arabs or not? I win. I win. It points to me. What angle is that? Is that now? Look. I feel like it's like his posture is like very deliberate, and I feel he's trying to get so like looking down his nose that he's now literally just leaning backwards.
Alienated from the fact that this is a Christian country. Arabs live as equal citizens
We're
in a
done with
Jewish
you,
state.
man.
All right.
You're almost.
Palestinians.
Wait a minute, I'm going to
But
give
you know, the astonishing thing is,
You can actually ask each other questions now.
Muhammad had
I'm
two
about to
Jewish
go-
wives, but you won't shake the hand of a Jew. And you know why?
Not
That's
you.
not Islam. That's
Not you.
Islamism.
All right,
Islamism is
let me
deeply
move on.
anti-Semitic, and it's sad.
We're
It's
going to
really
the final
sad.
part.
It's sad.
And the
did have
final
Jewish
part
It's
is
pretty
where
sad.
I want to try and end this, right? It's been acrimonious. It's been passionate. I'm not sure we've achieved very much, certainly not as much as I hoped to. I think we're all agreed that Hamas need to go. Many would perhaps agree Netanyahu should also have to go.
He doesn't. He's his friend.
Right? Well, I personally think the will of the Israeli people.
His friend, right?
Democratically elected leader, I believe in
Hamas had
democracy.
democratically elected.
Hamas is a dictatorship. They ended elections a year after they're a dictatorship. That's why Mahmoud Abbas will not go there. He's afraid of them.
Let me finish.
You can't just
wait a
offer
minute.
these fraudulences
Rabbi
and
Shmuley.
not be challenged.
We're coming to the final block.
let
which is-
Epstein get-
This
if
final
he
block
text you.
doesn't have a thing. I just want to see if we can get to any points of agreement. Right? We've had all the arguments. You've shouted at each other. You've personally abused each other.
Yes.
Right? You're passionate. You've raised some good points, but they've been mostly shouted out.
I just want to know how he
Can
would
we
feel
end
if
with
his
a-
son comes back in a
No,
black
I
bag
need
like
to
this.
Show this
some
picture
pictures,
again.
right?
Such a disgusting.
By the way,
How would you like it?
Wait,
Mohammed,
can we sure this stays in the show.
I'd like it as
You're
much as the
asking me
pictures.
if my son,
All
you
right.
know how low that you get?
Yeah.
You
So you get
attack
angry with your son,
Ben
you don't get angry with
Shapiro's
this?
wife. You're not a real man. Real
Okay.
men don't attack
How
women.
comes you don't get angry
Real
with this?
men don't tell us
How
that
comes you don't get angry
5-year-old
with this?
girls can have sex. Real
I
men
didn't
don't
say
speak
that.
about another. Yes, you did.
Your
You
son
said
could
it.
be
It's
like
on
this.
my Instagram.
Would you-
Don't say
why-
that
why do you use
5-year-old
son as human
girls,
shield?
prepubescent, should have
Why are you
sex.
getting angry with them and not
You
Palestinians?
are talking about my
Your
son
son.
because
Yeah,
you're
your
not
son.
a real man.
All right, whatever.
You're a
Why don't
bully.
you fight an
And
idea?
if you really
Why don't you
believe,
fight
and
an
if you
idea?
really believe
Why'd you
in
push
your
your son
mother's
as a
house,
shield?
you would not be in the safety
Why don't you put your son as a homo shield?
of a
You're the
studio
one.
in London.
You can
Do
find
not
the
bring up
ideas.
my son.
Mendy's
Do
here.
not bring
Imagine
up
that's
Ben
Mendy.
Shapiro's wife.
Imagine this is
Stop
Mendy.
picking on women.
Imagine this is Mendy.
Stop. See, you want
Imagine
a
this is
civil
Mendy.
debate, but
Imagine
imagine
this
a
is
man
Mendy.
Come on,
saying that
Finn.
your son is dead.
Listen.
You
Imagine
have
your son
no
is dead.
morality.
Imagine
You have
that.
no
Take a
decency.
look at that.
You have no
Imagine that's your
goodness.
son.
And this
All right,
debate is
imagine that's your son.
apart
Put the
because this
pictures
man
down.
is here
I can spend-
to
I can-
speak about
wait a
my
minute.
sex life. He's here to say my son's going to die. He is a Jew hater. He's an anti-Semite. He's an Islamist. And the fact that
I'm
this
more
debate
Semitic
has
than you'll
gone
ever be, my
along
friend.
this way, allowing
You're
him to evade
European.
every question.
You come from European extraction. Are you Polish?
Fabricate.
Are you Polish?
My father's from Iran, my friend. You know nothing
No, you're
about
Ashkenazi.
me. Okay?
You're Ashkenazi.
My father's from Iran.
Yes,
my
yes,
father
yes. What
was
about your
raised
mother?
around
Your
Muslims,
mother?
and he didn't meet Muslims like
I'm
you.
more
They were
Semitic than
Muslims
you
who
are.
tolerated
I'm more
people.
Semitic than you
The
are.
fact that
What is
he
the
is
point
allowed-
of this?
The fact that he's been allowed to offer fabrications of Jews killing 3
Imagine
million
this is your
people.
son.
The fact that he's allowed to
Imagine.
offer
do it
fabrications
again.
that have no source, that the
Come back
idea
in
of
a
his
black
killing
bag.
1,000 to 1. The fact that he's been allowed to tell his lies is a travesty of this show. It's a travesty
Imagine
of
this
the
is your
media.
son.
The fact that he has not
Imagine
been
that's your-
challenged by
imagine
you,
that's your
Piers,
son.
is unacceptable.
You know one of the
He has
problems-
evaded every question.
You
The
know-
fact that he's
Imagine this
allowed
is
to
your
talk
son.
about my sex life,
Imagine this is your son.
he's obsessed with people's sex
Imagine
life.
this was your
This is
son.
a travesty. And the fact that
Mendy.
you're not ashamed
Using
of
him as
how,
human shield.
and the
All right.
fact that you are not ashamed
Have
of
you
how
finished?
you
Let him speak.
Have
how
you finished?
humiliate
Shut up,
Islam.
shut up,
Islam is
shut
a
You know
great
what?
world
You know
religion.
what,
This is
Rabbi
wrong.
Shmuley?
And Muslims should reject this
All
man.
right.
Not me.
It
Not
would
the
be.
rabbi.
It would.
Muslims
All
should
right.
reject this man.
It would be a. a lot easier for me to challenge him, which I have done repeatedly. And actually,
let him evade.
Here, his
and
answer.
evade,
If you allowed me to do my job rather than shout over
from
every
day
single
one,
thing
he was interviewing you, Piers. From the first second, he was asking you questions.
No, I wasn't.
He was asking me
He was
asking me a perfectly legitimate question, which I was trying to answer, but you kept shouting, as you have done for the entire show.
This is not, this is not a debate.
When you say
a debate that talks about my
the pair
sex
of you,
life,
the pair
attacks
of you,
women, says my children are going to die. This is not a debate.
For God's sake, put the pictures down.
This is a man who cannot debate. He has to bring
Rabbi
in these
Shmuley.
pictures.
It literally is like Israel-Palestine. They're just both as bad as each other. Look at that fucking shit in his face. That he just has like. Oh, this has been brilliant.
Arguments instead of showing pictures.
Rabbi
What is
Shmuley.
this drama.
Rabbi
Why do you
Shmuley.
have to show these
Control
pictures?
yourself.
Why don't the pair of you?
Why don't you care about Muslims being killed by Hamas
All right.
for 17 years, stealing their money?
Should we just
Why
forget
does it bother
this?
you that it's Ishmael Haniyah's worth
Oh, giving up. Piers can't be asked
Do you
anymore.
want to even conclude this? Because it's pointless.
It's not me that's speaking.
I mean, in a way, what do your eyes review?
All the shit he's done. Stop me speaking, actually. Stop me to speaking. I love both of them, the whole show.
I think you've achieved with this.
You know what
The constant personal
I'll answer
abuse.
that. I'll answer.
The constant personal abuse.
I'll answer. Can I answer that question?
That's a rhetorical question.
I'll tell you what I've achieved. People like Islamists like Mohammed, Hijab, and you can answer. If you don't interrupt me, I'll finish with this, and then you can speak. They believe that Israel is going to disappear. They believe that we Jews are afraid of them. They believe that we Jews won't debate them. They believe that we tremble. He did a video last week where he said,
Jews.
"Did you see how they tremble?"
Who's they?
I have seen. Who are they?
I didn't say Jews.
Then who did you mean?
So why did you?
Who did you mean?
infer
He meant the Jews. He won't even say it.
Anti-Semitism can't.
You know why I'm here?
Weak.
You know why I'm here?
You're
Wait,
weak.
let me finish. You know why I'm here?
Anti-Semitism
You know why
can't.
I'm here? I'm here to show
To shut the debate down because you're weak.
We have
you're weak, just like your son. Your son.
Like he's not going to shut the fucking debate down. Wait, he's doing the son again. He's been trying to shut the debate down the whole time as well. They both have. To say that to the son, what did you say?
You know why I'm here? I'm here to show
To shut the debate down because you're weak.
We have
you're weak, just like your son.
Your
son,
son,
the IDF coward.
Jesus Christ. His son's like, it doesn't matter what you think of them. Like, if someone's son's fighting in a war, I'm probably going to be a bit more like, he's not a coward. He's not a piece of shit. Fuck him. I hope he's in the body bag.
Babylonians.
Jesus Christ. This debate is insane.
We have stared down the Romans.
We
have stared down the Greeks. We will stare down Muhammad, Hijab, and the Islamists.
You go fight with your son.
Forever.
Go fight with your son.
We are the eternal nation. So you know what I've achieved? I've shown people like him that we are going nowhere. We're not afraid of them. We don't tremble. We're not afraid. And if we haven't achieved the constructive dialogue, we've tried with the Palestinians for 75 years. We offered them a two-state solution, 1936.
I don't think you've made any attempt to civilize dialogue.
Oh, come on. This was never civilized from the first moment. Okay, this was never civilized.
Actually, it was.
Piers, can I just
respond to that? This was never civilized.
Forget about all this.
A man accusing Israel of killing 3 million Palestinians is a fraudulent lie.
That's not what he said.
A man who cannot cite sources is a lie.
He's
saying that Israel's an apartheid state.
I'm immune to this. Of course,
20% of the soldiers fighting for Israel are black, by the way.
What do you want to say?
Yeah, they're black, and if you look at the Haaretz newspapers, they're treated as second-class citizens.
Mohammed, what do you want to say in conclusion?
Hold on. I want to say something that he said about the Peel report.
Has he got another prop out, or is he just in his pocket? Just pulling in.
He doesn't know that. He mentions this in his book as well. He's mentioned it before 7 times that the Palestinians want peace. He doesn't know what history is, because let me respond to you. In 1936 and 1937, where the Peel report happened under the premiership of Ramsay MacDonald, and then 1939 when the White Paper took place under the premiership of Neville Chamberlain. Actually, the Arab Higher Committee, which represented the voice of the Palestinian people, agreed with the conclusions of the Peel report. In 1947, the Arab League agreed with the conclusions of the Peel report. He doesn't know that because
there's no truth to that.
No, I'll give you the sources. Excuse me, I'll give you the sources.
The Mufti of Jerusalem, al-Husseini, said we will never accept it, and then he moved to Germany and lived with Adolf Hitler. That's the truth. The Mufti of Jerusalem, who was the leader,
let me give you the sources. sources. Let me give you the sources.
No, let me ask
Pure
you.
fraudulence. It's
What do you
not
mean?
true.
I
The
give you
King
the
of
sources.
Jerusalem was a Nazi, and he rejected it,
that's
and
true.
they all followed it.
No,
He was a
no,
Nazi, correct?
No, he did. Yeah,
truth
he
He was a Nazi.
I agree.
Mufti of Jerusalem was a Nazi.
He wasn't
Alright.
a Nazi. He shook hands with Hitler.
No, he went to
Alright.
live with Hitler.
I don't know if
He
he lived.
went
I
to
don't
live
know.
with
I don't know if he lived
Hitler.
with
Forgot about that.
No, I don't know if he lived
He
with.
moved to
You know,
Germany.
this is all completely unwatchable.
No, I
right?
know. But
People at home are just going.
It is not. I can't disagree with Piers. This is very watchable. Especially for Saturday night, I had a little bit of wine, a couple of drinks. Why not? This is extremely watchable. This has been tremendous fun. This is fucking. This is terrific. Now, it's probably not watchable for the telly, but this is very much fantastic content. This is fucking banner content.
What's the matter with
I
these
love it,
two
this.
guys?
Can we
What
do
is the
one
matter
each?
with you?
Why
He
don't we do
wants
one
my
each?
nation
Why don't
not
we
to
do one
Why
each?
can't
exist,
you
and
just
I
try
want
and
my
have
nation to
some?
exist.
Why
That's
Why
the
can't
point.
you try and have some civilized dialogue?
No, because I'm answering his questions.
You
but
can't.
Let me speak.
Neither of you can.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I'm not interrupting him. I'm saying.
You didn't interrupt me.
You've both done it to each other the entire show.
Okay, here's what I'm saying.
But this is it. This is like Israel-Palestine, right? Where each side's like, look, just looks, oh, look what he's done to me. Look what he's done to me. Look, I've done nothing. I did nothing.
In 1936 to 1937, you have the pill. He said, what's the source? The source is the Encyclopedia of Palestine. So the source is the cablegram, which you can find on the UN website in 1947. I'll tell you the dates. On the 15th of May, 1948, which is when one day after the State of Israel was established, according to the UN website, which you can find on the public records, a primary source material, that the Arab League said that we consider the conclusions of the Peel report as acceptable. And
In 1948, they said that?
1948,
Five
yeah.
Arab nations
hold on.
invaded Israel
Hold
the
on.
next day
Let
in
me
the
tell
War of
you. Yeah,
Independence.
great. Let me tell you why.
1%
But
of the
hold on.
entire Israeli population were murdered
Sure. Let me
by
tell
the
you why.
Arab armies.
Fine.
Did you just say they accepted the state of Israel? Did you really just say that?
I did say that. I said that.
That is mental. To be fair, they were completely against it from day one. Now, I don't know if they were like what he's referring to. But there's some document they signed. But just to be clear, they were not on board at all. Like ever.
You just said that in 1948 the Arabs accepted the state of Israel.
I'm giving you
Come on,
sources.
Piers,
I'm giving you
Piers.
sources.
Does this show have any credibility
Shmuley,
at
let me
all?
give you sources.
You just answered
go
it.
ahead.
Can I give you sources?
That's what you're there for.
The Shmuley, the sources that I'm presenting.
Shmuley, my name is Shmuley.
Shmuley. The sources that I'm presenting you is as follows. Yes, you're right. Of course, there was a war in 1940.
5 Arab nations.
Five Arab nations. Only 3 of them crossed the border, according to Rashid in his book 100-Year War, which I can recommend to you.
Thank you.
And other books as well, Albert Horaini and others. Secondary source material. But the primary source material is this. In 1947, there, undoubtedly, it's on the UN website, you can find that the Arab League, they accepted the conclusions of the Peel Commission that took place in 1936, 1937. By the
11
way,
years later?
You said all this.
No,
11 years later?
no, 1940. In
You said all this.
1940.
What about me giving you an example?
So hold
No,
on.
this is all getting the weeds. Let me take you to the mid-90s, right?
Sure.
The mid-90s, there was a deal
93, yeah.
which was the proper deal,
93,
right? And Arafat at the last minute walked away.
That's false.
Well, the source is Bill Clinton, who'd done the deal
No,
with him.
the source is Dennis Ross. And let me tell you something.
Bill Clinton
Excuse me.
says in his memoirs,
Bill
My Life, he
Clinton
says,
makes
I
it
told
very
Yasser
clear.
Can I
Arafat
answer?
that you made
Go
me
first,
a
go first.
failure.
Go first.
Arafat agreed
Go first,
the
go
deal
first.
with Bill Clinton and then reneged on the deal.
Correct.
Can I
And
answer?
that
That's
deal-
wrong. That's wrong.
Looking back,
That's wrong.
it's not wrong.
Can I answer?
It's not wrong, Mohammed. And
You have to give
looking
me a
back
chance.
on, and
You
looking
have to give
back,
me a chance to respond.
let me finish my question to you. And looking back on it, I would simply say,
Yeah.
when you look at the entire history of this conflict,
No, but let me respond to that, please. Yeah.
that was the moment when real peace could have been achieved.
That's wrong. Let me tell you why. Okay. Let me tell you why. And you can both listen to this very carefully.
I mean, when Arafat walked away, like no one could believe it, and then he started the Second Intifada. Now, there's some debate about whether he would have had support to actually go through with the Accords, but like, I mean, a two-state was on the table, 100%. There were some disputes: who should control the highway linking Gaza and the West Bank, who should control the airspace. So there were a couple of little issues, but generally speaking, I mean, they'd got land swaps, they'd got all sorts that had given them like a viable two-state.
And take notes and check me, fact check
Just
me.
answer the question.
No, go ahead and fact check me. In 1993,
I mean, even more so in Taba in 2001 in Egypt.
you had the Oslo Accords. Both there was 2 signatories, as you know, Arafat and Rabin, and both of them got the peace prize for that. You know that, everyone knows that, except for
And Shimon
Yes.
Peres.
Pardon?
Peres also
Yeah,
got
Peres,
it.
of course. But I'm saying the Prime Minister and Arafat at the time they signed it. You agree, yes? You wrote it in your book. Up until 2000, there were what you call peace conferences that took place. Taba 1, Taba 2, etc., etc. You agree? Everyone agrees. All right. In 2000, this is what you're talking about, not 93. Because 93, Arafat...
93 was also one. 95 was also
No, I know. He's talking about...
2000 was Yasser Arafat, Bill Clinton.
Give me a second.
I'm talking about the period when
He's talking about what walked away.
No,
when Arafat and Bill
Camp
Clinton...
David, correct.
That
Camp
whole
David,
period
correct.
when Arafat and Clinton
yes.
were negotiating
Yes.
and they finally got to a point...
No, he's right. He's saying that he's right because he's saying that in 2000, the Camp David
went to
summit...
Camp David.
Yes,
correct.
that summit,
okay,
yes.
Excellent. Now, you see, from 1993 up until 2000,
Yes.
you had these peace conferences. Everyone agrees, okay?
Yes.
In 2000...
And the White River Accords, which is signed by Netanyahu, by the way.
No,
But that's the period I'm talking
Netanyahu in a
about.
second. He was against this whole thing from the
No,
beginning.
he signed the White River Accords.
Let me come to you. 2000 is what you're talking about walking away.
Yes.
Let me tell you some sources. I'll give you Israeli source. Because I know Dennis Ross is what do you call it? He's a biased source, right wing, Zionist, whatever. I'll give you another Zionist source. His name is
What's the point
Ben
of this,
Ommi.
Mohammed?
His name is Ben Ommi. He's Ben Ami.
What's the point of this?
Ben Ami mentioned that the deal that was struck in 2000, he wouldn't accept it himself if he was a Palestinian. That's what he said in his words. In his memoirs. Number one. Number two is, if you consider what happened...
I don't know who Ben Ami is. He seems to be the most
check it out.
insignificant...
Check it out. Google it.
He could be a columnist.
He's not insignificant. He was part of the Accords. No,
Let
me, please.
You know
please.
what? It doesn't matter.
No, Piers, it does matter because you're saying they walked away. It's not. That's according to one source.
I've read Bill Clinton's biography.
Yeah,
in
but
which he tells the whole
he's
story.
getting it from Dennis Ross. He's getting it from Dennis Ross.
No, he was there.
I believe Bill Clinton.
What do you mean?
No, he's getting it.
Okay, let me just be clear. Bill Clinton and Ehud Barak offered Arafat 97% of the West Bank, Judea, and Samaria.
That's false.
Wait.
So can I respond then?
And not only did Arafat not accept the deal, Arafat didn't even counter. He left without countering.
Let me
and then when Arafat was leaving and he shook Bill Clinton's hand, this is the story that Bill Clinton tells in his book, My Life. He shook his hand and he said, Mr. Clinton, you're a great man. And then Clinton looked him in the eye and said, I'm not a great man. I'm a failure. Yeah. And you have made me one, Mr.
Correct.
So you go both of you are going to one source.
No, wait. But then let's get...
Orientalist.
It gets better. It gets better.
I'm giving you multiple sources.
It was widely reported.
It gets better. In 2008... In 2008...
You're wrong, Mohammed.
How am I wrong? Give me your source.
It was Arafat.
The source is the president of the United States.
He's biased like
you
every
don't
other
care.
Arafat walked away from the best deal.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong.
In the whole
Let me explain something.
In my estimation...
Do you believe
Piers, let me respond
do
to
you believe Forbes magazine?
Let me respond.
Do you believe Forbes magazine that Arafat died billionaire?
Can we make
it civil?
That? Make it civil.
Maybe Arafat didn't want an end to the...
Are you scared? Are you scared of my response?
Are you scared? I don't think so.
Great,
you use the word scared a lot.
Okay, don't run away. Let me respond. Okay,
run away?
Don't run away. 1990.
I'm right here, Mohammed.
Okay, great.
Right here.
So
I'll get closer to you if you allow me.
Listen.
Stop shouting, Rabbi Shmuley.
93, as we said, there was all these accords from 93 to 2000. Now, in what were the contentions? Let me tell you what the contentions were on Oslo Accords. Number one, Jerusalem. Number two, the settlements. Number three, the occupied territories. Number four, the borders. That's what they were mentioning. Yeah.
You forgot the refugees, which was the most contentious.
Yeah, sorry, refugees.
You
Correct.
forgot that completely.
Okay, the refugees, correct. Which is the right to return law, and we know this apartheid anyway. But anyways,
no, it's not apartheid.
Okay,
every
we'll talk about
country in Europe allows people with ancestry.
You have a point, Mohammed.
Okay, I do have a point, which is as follows.
What is it?
They divided the areas into area A, B, and C. Okay.
That was Oslo 2 and 95.
Okay, yeah, sure. So what I'm saying is, in that time, the question is who was treacherous to the agreement? Because we know that, as you know, you condemned the settlements. That was part of the Oslo Accords.
No. The people who were treacherous was Arafat, who was giving the terrorists money to kill Jews. 1,000 Jews died, which is the equivalent here in Britain of 30,000 people being killed in terror attacks.
All right.
Can I ask Mamba one question, please? You said Oslo 1, Oslo 2. May I ask you one question?
I don't know if I want you to ask me any question.
Well, you don't have to answer. But
so this is the point. This is a myth.
How much of the Palestinian population in the West Bank, as you call it, is controlled right now by the Palestinian Authority? What percentage of the Palestinians are under Mahmoud Abbas? You won't answer it. You don't know, do you?
None of it, because all of it is
he doesn't even know.
All of it is controlled by the IDF.
Answer how many are controlled?
None of it.
Not according to Mahmoud Abbas.
No.
You know the answer
all of it is controlled by the
97%.
Okay, here's what we're going to do.
97%.
Do you know what it's like?
I'm going to end the show by you both having a minute, uninterrupted, to summarise, right?
Let him go first, it's no problem.
How you think we move on from here? Because clearly anyone watching this is going to see two completely intractable sides, right? This is what I see on Twitter all day.
Two nutters screaming at each other, that's what they're going to say. Mohammed Hijab acting like he's a towering intellectual by doing his debate for look down, you know, his tactics. Please. And then Rabbi Shmuley getting very angry and doing this thing that he would say to me. Like this guy is so good. Oh, this has been great. Oh, this is a lot of
I see
fun.
people on the
This is fantastic.
Israeli side and on the pro-Palestinian side, and they scream at each other all day long, right? They say some things that are right, some things
You're
that
part
are
of that
wrong.
as well.
Whatever. There's this
He'll
kind
get
of...
you involved in it.
Well, you both said to me before we sat down, I don't want to
He's
speak
trying to
out
absolve himself.
speak out of turn, but you
part of
both
it.
said to me independently...
So now it's the two of us ganging up on him.
Well,
Finally, okay.
you both said to me before we started, you said that the American Jewish community were very pleased with what I'd done on this
yes,
show.
they are.
And you said that the Muslim world pleased with what I'd done on the show. And I took that as a perfect extrapolation of what we've been trying to achieve, which is giving both sides a voice and a platform. And
So let me do my minute.
What has not
Let him
worked?
start.
What has not worked?
Yeah.
Is bringing you together like this, because actually it's been an ear-thumping screaming match. So you're now going to get a minute each to summarise, right?
You can go
and
first.
in the summary, I want to see if we can at least pretend to be constructive here, right?
Okay.
Because the world needs this somehow to end.
Okay.
So, Rabbi Shmuley, you go first.
First of all, Mohammed, thank you very much for wearing the Israeli colors. Thank you for your support of the Jewish state. We greatly appreciate it. I should have done the same. Secondly, I'm sorry you wouldn't shake my hand. I will shake your hand anytime, because I do believe what Piers said. We have to have peace and harmony going forward. It's a shame that you said no. Third, peace will come when my Arab brothers and sisters who are the green on this map accept that tiny little thing that I'm covering with my finger, that tiny little thing called Israel. And when they understand that Israel is not the Jewish homeland, Israel is actually the great Arab hope. If our Arab brothers and sisters get the economic prosperity of Israel, the rights for women, the rights for freedom of assembly, to criticize their governments without fear, the way the people in Hamas, in Gaza would be murdered by Hamas, let alone in Palestinian Authority, they'd be thrown in jails. Israel's the great hope. Let me just say this. Islam is a great world religion. It created the world's first universities. It introduced agricultural reforms in Europe under Sultan Akbar in India, 400 years before Europe. You had Al-Razi, who introduced medical reforms 600 years before the
All right.
And if we return to that kind of advance, not the Islam that is being advocated by Mohammed Hijab, which is antiquated and dark ages, then we will have peace.
Okay.
So God bless my Muslim brothers and sisters, and I will shake your hand anytime.
Mohammed, a minute for you.
As I said before, and I'll say it again, justice is a prerequisite for peace. If this was the case that it was South Africa and both nations had a long and known history with each other, Israel and South Africa, there's a book called The Secret Alliance that you can read for your further information. If this was South Africa and the blacks were kicked out of their country, they were kicked out of their country by the whites, like the Nakba, 700,000 Palestinians were kicked out, and then they had the audacity to talk about peace, nobody would be accepting it. The apartheid laws of South Africa are the same effectively as the apartheid laws of Israel. You're not allowed to come back to the country unless you are of a specific ethnicity which meets the requirement for apartheid. They're 100-to-1 ratio of being killed in Gaza. This seems to be acceptable to Shmuley, or unholy Shmuley. It seems to be acceptable to him.
It's a good rhyme.
Not acceptable.
It's a very
to
good rhyme. At least a little bit of comedy.
To me, it's not acceptable to the people. When we see these images, it's absolutely not acceptable. So peace is justice is a requirement for peace.
By the way, it's Shmuley, not Shmuley. It doesn't rhyme.
You don't get to go all over
Doesn't matter
again.
what your name is.
Look, I found that quite a dispiriting hour. I've got to be honest with you.
Doesn't matter.
I thought both of you let yourselves down.
I thought it was fucking
I gave you a
hilarious.
great opportunity here.
We gave you
to try and reach.
Piers, come on.
Well, fine, you can say what you like
We
about
give
me.
you
I don't
an-
care.
Listen. It's been a very... there's been a lot of upsetting shit. We've seen massacres, bombings, all sorts. And it's just nice to have a bit of comedy with these two lunatics just going at each other. This is a lovely bit of comic relief in the whole fucking conflict, right? Nice bit of comic
Give you an
relief.
audience. You gave
I
us
don't
an
care.
audience.
It's fine, but it's not just about the audience. It's about a big audience, which we're getting for all these shows, about a big audience seeing people try to
don't
come
be
together.
sanctimonious, though.
Nobody here has seen you even try to come together.
Why would
It's
Piers,
dispiriting to me.
Piers,
What can I do?
Piers, with all due respect, since
Try harder.
I believe,
Apartheid.
you know, I believe,
Do you agree with apartheid?
I believe in
Try
constructive.
harder,
agree with
as Nelson
apartheid?
Mandela
Piers,
did when he
condemn
came out
apartheid.
of... Nelson Mandela could have gone down this road when he came out of prison after 27 years.
And they called him a
6 by
terrorist
6
then. They
cell.
called him a terrorist
No, wait a
then.
minute.
Yeah, they did.
He could have come out of prison and he could have taken the path of vengeance.
He did.
Instead,
He was violent.
Instead,
What are you talking about?
he took the path of peace.
He was violent.
He took the path.
Reconciliation.
What are you talking about?
When he came out of prison, he took the path of peace.
He was violent.
Piers,
right?
And you
Piers,
called him a
with all due
terrorist.
respect- with
The
all due
British called him a
respect,
terrorist.
I take constructive criticism, and I will think about what you said.
And Mandela was
But
pro-Palestine.
I will tell you.
He was against
but I will-
Saddam Hussein.
but I will tell you. I will tell you. If you bring two people on to a debate, and you're saying that we let you
Don't
down,
give him
let down
lessons.
our audience.
Don't give him
yourself
lessons.
down.
Okay.
Don't give him lessons.
When you bring
He's
two
very
people,
successful
You
man.
didn't let me
when you
down.
bring
He's very successful man.
Don't suck up to Piers now. Don't give him lessons, please. He's a very successful man. Please, 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 please don't give him lessons. Don't give him lessons, please, Shmuley. Come on.
and you allow
I'll be quiet, man.
one to bring up
Don't give him lessons.
stuff that is so just embarrassing, like people's sex lives.
You've
and
written
everything else.
30 books
No, I
on
did
sex.
not. No,
You've
I did
written
not.
Yes, you did.
I did. No,
Conscious sex? No?
Oh, I'm proud of my books on sex, but this is a debate
You
about
know,
the
I
Middle
don't
East.
care about your sex lives.
Ah, Piers
That's
is
it
finished.
from me.
Piers is
Whatever
done.
you're to.
Piers is
Keep it
done.
uncensored. Good night.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ, I did not know that was going to be so funny. I thought, okay, there's going to be some crazy shit. I was more imagining crazy, like, opinions coming out. We didn't even get to that. It was just, not, to be honest, I'm sorry, but we've had, again, I'm going to say it again. We've had killings, bombings, the body parts blown off. God knows what was in the picture that they blurred out they were showing. And it's nice to have a little bit of comic relief with two nutcases smashing heads. That was fucking hilarious. Oh, that was fantastic. I disagree strongly with Piers. I think that was fucking excellent content. And you know what? I fucking thank him for it and the pair of them. That was hilarious. All right, I'm going to go do something else. I will see you all later. I don't know who's watching, whatever. Okay, I'll see you all later. Have a great fucking weekend, rest of your weekend, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. I love you all. Enjoy. Yeah.